Hey, it's Gratu Orloff up here in the theater room. It's, I don't know, November 17th, 2020. I know it's a Tuesday, something like that. About a week until Thanksgiving. Things continue to be very weird in the news. According to the media, we have a new president-elect, Joe Biden, and a really cool, giggly Vice President Kamala Harris. But there seems to be a lot of crooked stuff coming out that's going to courts. What'll happen? It's hard to tell. But our new president-elect, according to the media, promises us a dark winter. So, you need to get prepared and buy lots of comic books now before your local comic book shop is shut right down again in the next amazing shutdown. And don't have any, we stocked up on water. I don't have any guns though. I mean, I've got a gun. I don't know if it works. A friend of mine says, don't try to fire it. It's like a little bitty James Bond, like the James Bond gun that he had. But I do have, look at this. From my childhood, this is a squirt gun. It was kind of taped together, but it looks like I glued it at some point. It broke here. But this might frighten away all the evil people that might invade neighborhoods. I don't know. It at least squirts water, and that's scary. And this, it's got dust on it. This is a Junior Commando brand. This is quite spectacular. I think I need to mount these up on the wall. They look pretty spectacular. That's something I should do. Anyway, just going through things, organizing as usual. That seems to be a never-ending task. And as soon as everything gets somewhat organized, well, we may move. Now we're, there's a town called Eastland, Texas that looks like it has a really cool house that's like over 4,000 square feet, and it costs less than the house I'm in, and it's got a guest house that I could set up as pinball machines and turn it into an arcade, and then any of you that would like to come visit could stay there. And then the town has a really cool old-timey movie palace called the Majestic, and I don't know, it's a little town. I thought the property taxes would be less, but they're not much less than here. I don't know. I still got to go to the bank and see, could I qualify for a bridge loan so I could buy a house before I sell this one. And it's going to be hard to sell this one with some of the decorations. I'm going to probably have to make it more PG rated around here before people come in to view the home. But anyway, going through boxes, this is kind of cool. You ever seen a copy of the Electric Company magazine? Man, I probably should get closer to this camera. What do you think? Gotta move some stuff here to do that. Well, look at this. It's a vintage Cyclops X-Men polo. Is it dated? I'm sure it's from when the TV show was on. I hear that's back and viewable on Disney Plus, and I think there's even talk of reviving it, talking about the really good Fox X-Men cartoon. There's a little hound dog, got a bunch of stuffed animals here, got to put them someplace. Oh, and this is an autograph hound. God damn it. They used to, at the end of the school year back in the 50s, you pass it around, people would autograph it. Yeah. Oh, here's another one. I got them all over the place. See, autographed puppy. And there's still some autographs, so you look really carefully. Yeah. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Well, let's see what we got here in this box, shall we? It's the Electric Company magazine from the people that bring you Sesame Street. And it's actually, I need better lighting, I thought this would be nice mood lighting, but I think I need a little more. So, I'm pretty sure of that. Let me get some more lighting going here. How's that, folks? More light? Okay. The Electric Company magazine has some cool art design. I bought this like in 3rd grade. This was a show they forced us to watch in school. Back then, they didn't have cable TV, they didn't have VCRs. They would wheel a TV on, a TV set, big TV set would be wheeled into the room, the classroom, and they knew the times that the local PBS station would be broadcasting the Electric Company, and the teachers wrote it into their lesson plans and what skills that episode was going to be teaching us. Usually it was phonics. And phonics became very unpopular there for a while because then all the liberal establishment that controls the teaching field said, no, kids don't learn from phonics isolated. They just learn from, just set them down, read, they'll figure it all out. And it didn't work too well, and then that's why you'd hear during all the conservative talk shows like Rush Limbaugh, they'd have all these ads for Hooked on Phonics. We need to get the kids back reading the way they learned to read back in the old days. And they were mainly right. Although, you know, there is something to said about, you know, to be said about just sitting down reading, you know, just, but some kid, it just, they call it the whole language approach. They just, but, yeah. It even has mad artists like Al Jaffe here. There's Morgan Freeman when he was Easy Reader. And it's a fold-in. It's the word break, and then... oh, and of course it would he would break it open, and then you'd see he has bread inside that. And it's just filled with cool stuff. It was a magazine based on that TV show they forced us to watch, which was basically the... you start with Sesame Street, then you move on to Electric Company when you're like in 2nd grade, right? And then you're ready to learn really how to read other than just recognizing letters and numbers. But yeah, it's a cool magazine. Still has the original subscription form in it, Electric Company. Later in the run, there's an issue, no, that's Sesame Street. There's a Sesame Street magazine too, and one of those issues in the 70s has Cookie Monster, like eating the World Trade, holding on to the World Trade Center, taking a big bite out of one of the towers, right about where the plane hit, and that's kind of creepy. Here's another one with the little band that was on that show, The Short Circus. Yeah, see, it has another one of those Al Jaffe mad type fold-ins. It's Clown, and it unfolds to oh, clock. How about that? How about that? This is issue number, it must be issue 2. How would I have missed? Look at this, cool stuff. What issue is this? Now this is number 5, man. So I thought I was picking up all of these. They might just be in another box. There's some cool artwork in here. This seems to be a box here of just random stuff. I've been kind of dismayed. There's not a lot of comic book people putting shows up on YouTube recently. Most of the big names aren't posting, and I can imagine it's just out of being busy and probably depression, what's going on in the world right now. Because if Trump doesn't pull this out, there are going to be some dark times, I think. But who knows? Maybe it'll be wonderful. The big reset, they're calling it. Listen to those. Listen for those words. The big reset. You'll be hearing them more and more. Oh, look, here's a Toys R Us catalog. You don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm just flipping through something. You're like, show us. I guess this is from when those Batman movies got shitty. Yeah, no, Batman Forever. Yep. Oh, what do we have here? A beat-up copy of a Marvel Comics index for the Avengers. Look at this artwork on the back. It's kind of weird stuff. Very, very off model. Look at those. It's not bad. It's just weird. Look at the Scarlet Witch, man. I guess that show should be starting pretty soon. I don't know about the Wonder Woman movie. If it's going to be playing in theaters at Christmas, or if it's going straight to HBO Max or what. I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, this is okay. Yeah, it has tracks all the issues of the Avengers. Let's see, where does my collection start with? Yeah, a friend of mine gave me, that's damn. My eyesight. Yeah, my friend gave me everything Avengers 13 up through the mid 1970s, just about this time last year, just a whole box of them. And I already had some of them, but then I had an almost complete run of the Silver Age and through mid 70s. He was just downsizing, and he thought they'd go to a good home. He had a complete run of X-Men from issue 1 through the good years in the 70s, the even better years. Well, they're all good, but anyway, he sent them to Heritage to auction for him, and then he swore that that what he saw in the catalog were not the issues he gave them. Like maybe they'd swapped them out and kept the good ones. He would. I don't want to. He wasn't happy with his experience regardless, and so he said, "Here, you'll be a good home for these Avengers comics." And then he said, "I'm keeping the Spider-Mans." He had Spider-Man going all the way back to early days, not Spider-Man #1, and he kept his Captain Marvel Captain Marvel, when Captain Marvel was a guy. He kept his Kirby New God stuff too. Anyway, this is just an index. I remember buying this on the newsstand at a drugstore in Pantego, Texas. It's right when the Hulk came on television. And this is from July of '78. So, when I bought this, my wife was 2 months old, because she was born May of '78. Ooh. This is a movie everyone's forgotten, but I loved this movie when it came out. Heaven Can Wait with Warren Beatty. It's a remake of Here Comes Mr. Jordan. And there was another similar movie in the 40s called Heaven Can Wait. They took the title from that and the plot from the other one. And the hell is this? Chris Christopherson starring in the movie Convoy. Oh boy. Oh, an old comics journal. You remember the comics journal? Now, this was great journalism, seriously. This was a very well written magazine. And as I recall, the writing was very small even then, but now it's, damn. And I used to have reading glasses everywhere, and several of them had been eaten by our dog. So I need to run by the dollar store and pick up another pair of reading glasses, especially if I'm going to be reading the good old comics journal. And I have a whole box of them, but this somehow didn't get into that box. But they're really good interviews in here, and it's just very good stuff. This guy, Gary Groth, was the editor or publisher of this, and he started as like a teenage assistant to Jim Steranko. And there's some pretty good interviews with Gary Groth that are on YouTube that people have done in the last few months. Here's another magazine, Comics Collector. It's not as good as Comics Journal, but it's you know, fun to read. The Monsters Shall Rise. Look at that. That's, I'm sure, why I bought this issue. How about that? How about that one? And there was another magazine called Comics Feature. It's got a Johnny Quest back cover. No, this one's got slick paper. This must be when it's a interview with John I used to pronounce Buscema, but is it Buscema? I think it's Buscema. But to me, it's always been John Buscema, because I didn't know how to pronounce it. You see the name, and however you pronounced it when you were a kid is kind of what sticks. His, I keep forgetting if Stephanie Buscema is his daughter or granddaughter, but whatever she is, she's an amazing artist. But she does cutesy stuff and children's books, and I think she does some comic book art, maybe covers. But yeah, he was the master. I really loved Conan the Barbarian comics. Anyway, when did this thing... Oh, William Stout, he passed away not too long ago, a couple months ago. There's some of his pre-production art for some movies. Yeah, man, it's just, this is a great magazine. There used to be all these comic book magazines. What happened to them all? Well, there aren't magazines anymore. That's what I've been meaning to do a whole segment about this. I'm still conditioned. Whenever I go into a drugstore, any kind of store, a supermarket, the first place I go is the magazine rack. And now the magazine rack is about this wide. And there aren't any interesting magazines anymore. And sometimes there are magazines that are made like little miniature books. Like right now there's one on, I guess it's on Bruce Lee. This must have been, I guess he would have turned 80 this month or something, because there's a big Bruce Lee magazine. Then there was one about Jaws a couple months ago. And it's like, but a magazine costs, any magazine costs about $10. And sometimes they'll see like Atomic Ranch about 50s houses, but there's just, it used to be, I would go to the newsstand. Is there a new Mad? Okay, is there a new Cracked? Is there a new Famous Monsters? Monster Times, Castle of Frankenstein. Sometimes it would be over a year between issues of Castle of Frankenstein. It was very spotty in its publication, but that's where I went, was the magazine rack and the comic book spinner rack. And now magazines aren't a thing. And of course it's because the internet provides us. It used to be when Starlog magazine came out, it'd have, you know, upcoming movies, and you'd find out about what movies are going to be made, and you thought, wow, I have the inside scoop before anyone. But you now realize that what the inside scoop you were getting back then was months old. Now, within minutes of news being released by Hollywood, you know about it on the internet. And so, but there's just something about a magazine. If I want to go back 15 years ago and read a review that was on, say, like I used to read Ain't It Cool? I better put this up because it looks like there's inappropriate stuff on the screen behind me. You're not seeing that. On, let's say, Ain't It Cool News used to be a website I looked at every day. I don't do that anymore. But I don't know why. It's just one of those things. But it used to be every day. I look at it several times a day. I look at Ain't It Cool News out of Austin. And if I wanted to go back and just look at a given day of Ain't It Cool News to see what they were saying about the production of the first X-Men movie or Spider-Man, that would be real hard to do. But now if I want to go back in time to September of 1993, I just pick up this magazine and I'm magically transported to that time period. I better hold this up high because I don't know what's going on behind me. This is a disc I made for the drive-in movie screen in the backyard, so I don't think I put anything too horrible on it, because I wouldn't want the neighbors next door that voted for Biden to be upset about it. Well, here's another issue of Comic Values Monthly. boy, did I love that Batman series. That's really the best adaptation of Batman ever. January 1994. Ah, yes. And they have like the price guide for what comics were worth in that particular month. So it's like a little snapshot of a month and year in comic collecting. Some of you maybe before you were born. I think, shit. You know, when you look at on YouTube, you can manage your account, and you can look at the age of people that and it looks like most of the people that watch this channel are like 45 to maybe 60. You know, not that I get that many viewers. This guy Tim Pool. This guy built some mansion, looks like a spaceship, up in the Colorado mountains. And he's this guy that he kind of is like a Ben Shapiro type. He talks real intellectual and really fast. But yeah, he's kind of started with Vice, but he's kind of conservative. I mean, like, anyway, Tim Pool is with YouTube money. In other words, he's some people become rich off of this, but they have 3 million subscribers, and I have 112. I had 113, but I lost one. It's so terrible. I've got these some video game magazines. I'm not sure. I think I might have been dreaming about what video game system will I get, and well, meanwhile, I never got one. This was a magazine they would give away free at the movie theater. Moviegoer. This is from April of '83. Yeah, what was going on back then? I guess an article about Margot Kidder, Lois Lane. But this was after Lois Lane. By '83. By '83, those movies had played out. I think Superman 3 was the death knell of that series. But she's toning it down. She's toning down her wild image, yeah, because she started dating Richard Pryor and probably smoking, doing however you smoke cocaine with him. Oh, okay. It's an article about National Lampoon. One of the next issues, I'm going to go through a National Lampoon collection. National Lampoon made, as far as I'm concerned, one movie, Animal House. Vacation, not quite. It was based on a story that was printed in a short story that was in National Lampoon. It had that guy that wrote that story wrote the script, and it had Chevy Chase, who started with the National Lampoon Radio Hour, but it was not really to me a National Lampoon movie. Animal House had the spirit. It was the National Lampoon. Here's an issue of Soldier of Fortune when Rambo came out. Rambo 2. Yeah. How about that? Let's see. Game Pro Magazine. Game Pro Magazine. What the hell do I own this? I always thought I need to get into video games, but I never could have afforded that, and it would have been a horrible addiction. I would buy a system, like I got a, what do you call that damn thing? I would buy the video game system right as it's about to be done away with. That's what would always happen with me. Oh, here's Omni. Omni was this if you were around in 1978 when Battlestar Galactica premiered on, I think, ABC TV, it seemed like every station break there was a commercial for Omni Magazine, the new music magazine of science fact. And this is done by Bob Guccione of Penthouse Magazine. He thought he would, and inside, I don't know if you know what Penthouse looks like, but the type set, everything in this magazine, it looks like you're looking at a copy of Penthouse. It's just that there's no nudie pictures, but it's like an intellectual Penthouse that doesn't have girls in it. It just has pictures about outer space and stuff. So this was out for, this is from June '79. This is a pretty early issue. Yeah. And that was Omni Magazine. I don't think people collect that. Who knows? Maybe they do. I just got a bunch of general stuff in here. I used to buy all kinds of shit, didn't I? Whew. Oh, look at this fancy high-tech watch you could have gotten back then in the year April '79. I was April '79. I turned 14. How about that? How about that? Oh, Comic Shop News. Does anyone save these? I mean, I save them. Here's an ad for Suicide Squad. I hear today that Sylvester Stallone's being added to Suicide Squad. Of course, he's also seems like being added to Guardians of the Galaxy if that movie ever gets made, Part 3. They had him as heading up the original Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, I took a pretty extended break from comics, and when the Guardians of the Galaxy movie was coming out, you know, my idea of what the Guardians of the Galaxy was the old Guardians of the Galaxy from the late 60s and 70s, the one that started in Marvel Superheroes. So I kind of read a few issues to try to catch up for the movie to see what it was like, and there's an issue of Redbook. And it seems like the movie was better than the comics I was looking at, but maybe I was looking at the wrong run, the wrong artist. Oh, look at that delicious food. Redbook. Yeah, magazines used to be the thing. Redbook. I don't know if they still publish it. My mom used to read this. Redbook. This is from a long time ago. Kim Novak. She was in some Hitchcock movies. Look at the women. This model. God damn it. Back then. I don't want to. This magazine does not seem like. It's like I'm maybe. Oh, it's March 1959. Yes, indeed. Indeed, indeed. What else I got in here? Kit Builders. This was spring 2001. This is a magazine for people that would make model kits. These resin garage kits. And I used to like to look at that, but I never had the skill to build these. But well, I feel like this is a real filler episode. Like, I don't really have a whole lot to say. I just kind of was getting thinking I should do another episode to catch up with you guys. This lighting's kind of better. I've been making my own radio station. So what I do is I've got a DVD recorder box, right? So I get a DVD-R, I put it in there, set it on the 6-hour speed, and I just use YouTube. So what I'll do is I'll use a jingle from WFUN in Florida. Put the jingle on because it's right there on. I saved it on YouTube, and then I did a bunch of station identifications where Dr. Grotu Orloff is saying, and now the next great record. Then I put that on, and then I'll put on like Black Sabbath, and then I'll put on the Carpenters, and then I'll do another station ID, and then I'll just record until I have 6 hours And right now I'm broadcast. So once I get a 6-hour disc, I put it into a DVD recorder attached to a whole house transmitter, FM transmitter, that'll transmit 150 feet or more in every direction. And then I can tune to 106.9 on any radio in the house and hear myself DJing all these records. So, always kind of wanted to be a DJ. Now I can kind of do that virtually. An old friend of mine does DJ on KNON in Dallas on Saturday nights at midnight, and you know, I tried putting that on. I don't want to be mean, but my wife makes me turn it off pretty quickly because some of the music is kind of hard to take. But hard to take, I mean, not too good. But I'm being mean, so I need to be quiet. But anyway, he does a good job DJing. Let's see. Well, it's just on so late, you know, that nobody can. Here, hold on one minute. Set you guys down for a moment. Damn it. Okay. I'm back. Well, I think I'm gonna draw a close to this particular installment of the Gratu Orloff program. Because I've locked the cats out of their room to do this, and they're going to be upset with me. So, gosh darn it. Ugh. There's always a vacuum cleaner in the way. Horrible. Alright. Fucking shit, motherfucker. Goddamn.